Muhammad Ali, the man who floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee, is an icon whose legacy transcends generations. But do you know the man behind the myth? This is the story that few tell, filled with contradictions, challenges, and an inner fire that turned him into a legend and an enigma. Born as Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, Ali's life did not begin with golden gloves, but with the fists of a poor boy who wanted to avenge the theft of his bicycle. At the age of 12, he vowed he would never be vulnerable again. Yet, behind that promise lay an insecure young man battling racism, not only in the streets but within his own skin. Did you know that Ali, the champion of African American pride, was often criticized for straightening his hair to meet the beauty standards of the time? His overflowing charisma masked those insecurities. When Cassius Clay became Muhammad Ali after embracing Islam, he not only adopted a new name but also a new battle. His refusal to serve in the Vietnam War, based on his religious beliefs, was as bold as it was controversial. "I ain't got no quarrel with the Viet Cong. No Viet Cong ever called me in." That phrase resonated around the world, but it cost him his title, his boxing license, and nearly his freedom. However, what few know is that Ali had internal doubts. Privately, he confessed to fearing he might never fight again, but he pressed on because, as he said, "A man who has no courage has no manhood." In the ring, Ali was unbeatable, but outside of it, his personal relationships told another story. His marriages, often plagued by infidelities, reveal a human and fallible side. His relationship with Malcolm X was also an open wound. Ali, under the influence of the Nation of Islam, ended up distancing himself from Malcolm just before his assassination. Years later, he publicly lamented this decision, admitting it was a mistake he could never forgive himself for. Ali loved magic tricks and used his skill to entertain both children and adults alike. On one occasion, in Zaire, while training for his legendary fight with George Foreman, he spent nights telling ghost stories to the locals, who called him the living spirit. Ali cultivated an image of strength, but he never ceased to be a deeply spiritual and curious man. Years after hanging up his gloves, when Parkinson's had begun to erode his body, Ali continued to show the same bravery. In 1996, when he lit the Olympic torch, trembling yet invincible, he sent a message to the world: "I am not my weaknesses, I am my struggle." Ali was not just a champion, he was a man full of contradictions, of light and shadow, a complex spirit whose complete story still resonates in the deepest corners of those seeking inspiration. And you, what would you do if you knew that, even in his darkest moments, Ali never stopped believing he was the greatest?